Welcome to Dental Unscripted. Where Mike Dinzio and Paula Quinn break down the practice ownership journey, one episode at a time. Starting up, buying, and running a successful dental practice.
What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dental Unscripted. This is Mike Dinzio and Paula Quinn. We are live, and we are doing a series of podcasts today. I hope you are all logged in, buckled up. I'm sure you've got nothing else to do but to listen to us from 9 a.m. to wherever we're going to land on this day. Yeah. But the topic today is a good one because it's a popular one, and it seems to be a topic that is always kind of like a signature banner headline at all the trade shows, and it's always full every time I walk by this amazing presenter about this topic. And so we're really excited to be talking about all things burnout today. So burnout is the topic. And we have some theories on why dentists and team members are burned out. Be curious to hear your comments on the socials. If you guys think that there are other reasons, chime in, log in. Let's make it a conversation. But today it's just me and Paula, which I feel like is enough. But we are excited to get into this. Just a little housekeeping, guys, look, like, there's a lot of followers. Please follow us. Like I'm on phone calls all day, and you're like, oh, I love these episodes. This is great. And that doesn't reflect in the followers. So please legitimately follow, subscribe on YouTube, watch, however you do it, so that you're getting those alerts on every episode. And we would love to hear from you and see more chatter on the socials. Also, again, please review us. Like, that helps us as well. We do this pro bono. We don't get anything out of it other than just enjoying the conversation, sometimes yelling and bickering. But we really do enjoy this and love doing it for you guys. So as a little thank you, please give us a review. Doesn't have to be 5-star if you really don't think we're good. Just review us. But how are you doing today, Paula? It is podcast day. Are you ready to go? Are you excited about today's agendas and all the things we're going to talk about?
I'm so excited. I'm in a different room because it's, Arizona, and I think it's going to hit 110 or so today. So I don't know. I don't know the sound quality. I woke up and took my dog for a walk this morning, and it was 92 already. So
oh my God. Is your dog still alive? Is Coda still alive? Did he survive 92 degrees? I wouldn't survive 92 degrees.
Well, the sun's not out yet, so it's survivable that early in the morning.
Knowing you probably put your hands on the cement to make sure his paws were okay. And I'm sure Coda's fine. Coda's fine.
No, he's totally fine.
Well,
I don't know what my sound quality is because I'm in a different location.
You sound great. Great.
Good.
Well, then let's get cracking. You guys only have about 20 minutes of work drive time. And so without further ado, let's get into this. Paula, like, when people talk about burnout, when people are stressed, and we see it with our clients, I sometimes think that they hire us because they're burned out. Mm-hmm. And it's really challenging to coach someone that's burned out. How do you, if you've been going to the gym and you're just exhausted from the gym and you don't want to go to the gym anymore, but you decide, hey, maybe a coach or a trainer will help me get out of that burnout. No, it doesn't work. You don't give more effort when you're burned out. You just are at max capacity. You can't give anymore. Even if someone's nagging, dude, do another push-up. You're just like, I don't really want to be here, dude. Right. So like consultants get a bad rap because we can't get any results. We can't get any ROI, but it comes down to the offices actually putting in the work. So the time to hire a consultant is not when you're burned out. The time to hire a consultant is when you're motivated and ready to kick some ass. And then we're going to have some fun with that. But don't hire a consultant. Don't hire us or any consultant if you're burned out.
I don't know. I disagree with that a little bit. But.
Oh, well, how do you? Okay, so maybe it's because you're the burnout queen. Let's identify what signs of burnout that we see, and maybe what things we can how to fix it. But the first thing we discussed when preparing for this one is not unscripted. We actually prepared this one, so not big time, but staffing mismatch was one of the things that we talked about. And what's staffing mismatch? That's when the team is, we either have have too many team members, or high wages, or not enough team members, and that creates a crazy kind of dynamic within a business where a dental office relies on every team member in the office. And so if you're overstaffed or understaffed, it can create some burnout. So Paula, what ideas and thoughts do you have about that with the team kind of mismatch?
Yeah, so I think we're going to probably talk about this in every topic we bring up, but I think people's mentality of work has drastically changed. And I can attest that. I'm a Gen X, and if you study Gen X in any way, shape, or form, we're like workhorses. I don't know, it's, our parents, the way they were and how they raised us, but you just go to work. Your arm gets cut off on the way to work. You just show up for work. You just do. It's just not okay not to show up. So I think it's, generation after generation. And I think it oscillates, it's not, it's the millennials. It's the Gen Zs. It'll come back around. I think, similar generations happen, but they skip. So I think a lot of, today's workforce is they need to be heard. The loyalty looks different. The mentality is different. So when you said, I don't think there's a lot you can do about it, I think sometimes it's just talking it through and pinpointing like what is actually making you feel burnout. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but my biggest thing that I want to make sure we add to today is if you don't have the systems and you're always just putting out fires, you're going to feel burnout, because the next day something's going to happen similar or different, and you're going to have to like reinvent that wheel on a daily basis, rather than if this happens, this is how I handle it. I feel like the more organized you are, the more systems you have in place, it's just sort of like, this is easy. I'm prepared for this. So I think that's kind of the first thing. So I think a lot of it is just, the reactiveness of a dental practice. The staffing mismatch, again, is kind of like, for me, one bad apple can ruin it for the good one. So when we see a leader, a dentist, an owner entertain bad habits, all of the ones who have the good habits start either saying, why am I here? Then fine, I'll do it too. Or they're constantly just judging the leader, the dentist, the owner, because they're like, why are we allowing this? And it creates a very frustrating environment. I just had an office yesterday where the team member has not been there for several days and then called out again. And the whole team has to reorganize. Patient experience suffers, it just really changes things. So I think entertaining a bad apple, and there's different ways you can be a bad apple, but when reliability and attendance is the one we're going to talk about today, I think that you are underestimating what it's doing to the rest of the team. Yeah. And that can create burnout for a couple of reasons. Now we all have to jump and make up for that, but it's us watching them entertain that. So I would say, that is quite a bit of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and so like the root of that, to get a little deeper in that exact thing, is like, okay, so why are we entertaining it? Well, it's because we can't find a lot of great employees. So it's like the devil is better than the one that you don't know.
Absolutely.
So it's like our doctors just get paralyzed by making the right decisions to protect their culture, because they're fearful they're not going to find the right person, or they're already overstaffed, or over their percentage of wages. They're maybe overpaying the team by hours or rates or whatever. And they can't hire someone in fear that it's going to screw up their profitability. So it's almost like, let's just keep doing the same crap that makes us feel bad, overworked, have bad performance because of all of that. And it's like, as coaches, you have to, again, not a good time to hire us in burnout if you don't have the ambition to make hard decisions and deal with the consequences of those decisions to overall win the fight. During the battle, you're taking slugs, but knowing that you're going to win the fight, you have to take a couple hits. And I think when the doctors let this go on too long, then they get burnout, then they don't make good decisions, then it burns out the team. And it's just like kind of this vicious cycle you cannot get out of. But you have to make consistent, good decisions and take the blows to get out of that cycle. And it's hard to recognize in the moment, I think.
Oh, I don't think it is. I think they recognize it a lot. I think.
Well, then why don't they make the decision?
Because the pain of the decision is greater than.
They're fearing the punch. They're fearing the punch.
They're fearing a lot of things. They're fearing like, what is the next person going to cost me? Is the next person going to be worse? Are they going to fit into my culture? Are the patients going to wonder where this person is? Is it going to hurt my business? Is the rest of the team going to quit because this person, everybody likes this person, when really they usually just fear the person, but they think everybody likes them. They think the patients like them. I would say, when you hire us, because you keep bringing it back to that, I think you have to be ready for even more discipline and more work as an owner. Like you got to be ready to be disciplined and put in the hard work. I think that where most dentists fail, I talk about this all the time with them. You go to dental school, you don't go to business school, and you don't go to management school.
Or leadership school. Yeah.
Leadership school. People are not easy to manage.
No.
They don't own the business. It is a job most of the time. Some more invested than others, not saying that people don't care, because I know they care, but they're never going to care like you do. So here you hire these people, and your first mistake is you don't set like HR, you don't set your vision and your expectations and your consequences very clearly. So having your HR organized of, if the team is late, if the team doesn't show, what is that going to look like and how long am I going to entertain it before I ever hire anyone? Because we hire someone and we like them and we're like, this is great, and blah, 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 and then it's not. So that's
it's like super optimism. It fogs their judgment.
Well, because especially the front, because I'm a dentist, I'm clinical. I don't want to know the front. I don't want to touch the front. I don't even know what that means up there. Oh my gosh, I have Susie Joe. She's been in dentistry for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Take it, please. Help me. I don't know how to do this. So, of course, most front office people I meet are very, very confident. Very confident. I very rarely meet any that aren't. And therefore, when they're talking, the dentist is again like, whoa, yay. And then they're the ones, not always, it can be a hygienist, it can be a dental assistant, but I feel like they get the most paralyzed when it's the front, because they're like, I lose them. I can't bill. I can't collect money. I know nothing about insurance. So I think it all starts with, you're a dentist, you're buying a practice, startup, acquisition, or you own a practice. hit reset. How do I reset my culture, my HR area, the expectations I want of my team? How do I do that? That's so that I think people can call us when they're burnout, because really that's what it is. It's exhaustion from like the unknown, the disorganization, the
Yeah.
lack of control over your business. And for the team, it's, again, we'll keep getting into team, but so I think having that is going to be number one. I think number two is systems themselves of the rest of the practice, repeatable systems that you can count on, checks and balances that you can, because I think when a dentist can gain control and have knowledge, it becomes a lot easier to now hold people accountable, because you feel confident that, hey, if this person leaves, I at least know what I'm doing. This person leaves, here's my ABC backup plan. It isn't ideal. I don't want to lose this person, but now I can start holding somebody accountable, rather than just feeling out of control. So that's dental burnout. We'll go back to team. So I think we talked about entertaining. I think another thing is like, it is kind of funny. I look at it and I think, oh my gosh, we have more and more technology than we ever had before. When I, was front years and years ago, I was more recently and I had digital, but when I was front years and years ago, I had to carry, the appointment book from room to room. I took it home with me sometimes. It was like you had to have this piece of paper, this book with you to schedule. You know what I mean? And heaven forbid somebody forget to put somebody in the schedule or what it was. There was no recourse. You had to pull a thing, look back in written clinical notes.
You could read people's handwriting though, and you'd know that's.
Oh no, you couldn't. No, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. I think that, confirmations, I had to personally call everybody on the schedule to confirm more than once. Call, pick up the phone, dial, call. Manual. Medical histories, forms. I couldn't send them ahead of time. They didn't come back digitally. People now, offices will complain, oh, the patient came on time and they didn't fill out their forms and I had to wait 10 minutes. Guess what? We had to do that with every patient.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
we couldn't even fill out the medical history ahead of time. So it's always interesting to me that with more technology and more ease and almost kind of like a second hand, people are more burnout. And I don't know if they're expecting, it's almost like when we're on a plane and we have Wi-Fi and then the Wi-Fi shuts down, we're like, well, I almost feel like they rely on it so much that when they actually have to manually do something, it's like, it puts me out. Oh my gosh, she didn't confirm. Now I have to call, or I'm not calling. I'm not going to call.
When it used to be your everyday job, which by the way, kind of leads us to the next topic of this. And that's like a good segue, because here we have technology and you have to deal with training them, and we have higher expectations for, their ability to handle tech and training and all of that. But like, I'm going to call it like the CEO effect. I don't know a better way to say it, but like dentists are trying to become a CEO, and they're listening to this podcast. They're on ChatGPT. They have unlimited resources.
Too many resources.
And they're trying to run their business. They're trying to run their practice more like a business, where historically dentists just kind of
serviced patients.
They
didn't even know what they had in the bank most of the time.
That's right. And now with the DSOs and the competition, and this is really become. I also think
rates are higher. I think rates are higher in general. I mean, like what we did, when bread cost 50 cents and now it's $5, or eggs or $10, whatever. We don't get the luxury of sort of like, just kind of like, oh, feed my family. No, now we need more money to survive in this world in general. So thank goodness they're shifting to business owners.
I mean, they are. And so the team is feeling the gravity of that that movement, meaning now dentists are hearing on this podcast that cancellation and no-show should be less than 6% in a practice, or 12 to no more than 12. We'd like to see it 6. And so now they hear this statistic on this podcast or whatever. They ask ChatGPT.
Then they have a hole in their schedule.
And then they freak out because this isn't happening. Whereas before they weren't, the old.
But when you're paying your hygienist $75 an hour,
you have to.
These days, you have to be a little bit crazy.
So
that's what I said. It's more expensive. Loans are more expensive per square foot to build out.
I'm saying it's a good thing they are doing this. It's just that's heavy on them. Profitability has changed. It's heavy on the team because now doctor is micromanaging the shit out of us. Whereas before we just kind of showed up and did our job.
Just very reactive.
And reactive worked. And it kind of in some ways does if you're a big producer. But if you're not a big producer, the system's got to be tighter and every penny matters. But
even if you're a big producer, this is your end game at some point. So you still want to maximize it.
Of course you do. But
just because I make $300,000 a year, whatever it is, doesn't mean I could make 5. Why not make 5? You know what I mean? Like
I get that. I'm just saying, like, the stress is more real to the doc that, has to count every penny, which creates this drag to the team and creates an extra amount of pressure. And we get those clients that are uber stressed.
Well, I have to go back to systems because that's when you get stressed. If you don't even know your own system, there's a cancellation. You're up there. Why is this canceled? Where if there's a system, not saying it has to work exactly like this, but you can see the patient canceled. You can see why, and you have a great system to fill that hole very quickly. So the systems, having systems and understanding your systems, whatever they are, is always going to bring that stress down. But I hear you, like, I'm a team member. 5 years ago, I just did my job. We had a whole, maybe not a lot of pressure. There was just 100% trust. Now it's like, okay, do you not trust me? Why are you breathing down my neck? I'm doing everything I can. The expectations are higher. So now I'm getting burnout because I feel like nothing I do is right, or I've got somebody hovering over me now. We have a new technology. I don't even know how to use it to its fullest. Nobody provided me the real training. A lot of these companies out there now don't even have training. And if they do, it's minimal. And they think they're covering what they need to cover when they do train, and they kind of don't. So I think it's new technology in general is very helpful, but it's also very stressful if it's new to you. So there's a learning curve there. But I also think, like, if the doctor doesn't understand the system, they're going to continually now hover and bug, like you said, and that's going to totally 100% create burnout and stress from the team.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one we kind of thought was a catalyst, or is a catalyst of burnout, is the reliability of employees. And I think any business owner can appreciate that comment of, this idea of, and you kind of touched on it, which is the generational issue, or cause and effect. But these employees, our employees, are just a different beast, and their idea of reliability is totally different than what maybe their older generation's idea of reliability. So, Paula, you were a hygienist of 30 plus years.
Never once did I get a benefit. I didn't get a vacation money. I didn't get a holiday pay. I didn't get health insurance. I didn't get a 401k. I got nothing.
Nada.
Now it's like, I'm not taking the job if I don't get 70 an hour, 3 weeks vacation, holiday, a 401k, and medical benefits. It's crazy. And these are small business owners. they have so much other things going on.
Yeah.
Student loans, office loans, rent is outrageous these days. Forget technology and TI improvements. You know, you've had a practice for 30 years and you want to invest in some technology or an update to the facelift to the practice. It's a lot of money. And the team's like, what about me? What about me? What about me? And then the ones who are getting it still don't show up for work.
Yeah, exactly.
They still
and you touched on the good employees and how the bad employees affect them. So then your good employees start turning into bad, reliable employees. And
or they quit because they're watching this, or they're just unhappy. And that's what I think I find most. When I talk to offices, they're there still and they want to be there. They love the practice. They love their patients. It's probably close to home or they've already been there. And but they're miserable because they are thinking, this isn't fair. Why are we entertaining this? Why is this okay? Like, this isn't okay. And even if I wanted to be late, like, even if I was like, well, she's always late. I mean, just in my blood, I couldn't be late. But then that makes me even more angry because it's like, I can't do that. I would never feel good, but I'm watching this. And team doesn't realize, you know what they should do is the person that's always late or calls in, one day everyone should just not show up when we know they're showing up and just leave them in the practice by themselves. And be like, well, you got to answer the phone and take money and dental assist and
we had some
call all the patients and cancel the hygiene patients because there's no one there.
Hey, Karen, we all had to take a personal
We didn't feel
day.
well.
Yeah, we had anxiety today. So Karen, you're going to have to cover everybody's job. Yeah,
exactly.
And then at the end of the shift, everybody walks in the practice and says, see, that's what it's like.
Exactly.
That's funny. So yeah, like I you touched on it. I guess to your point, there absolutely is a lot of things that you can do to fix this, but you're talking a lot about systems. You also talked a lot about expectations and job descriptions and holding them accountable. And the reliability part of this topic really is solvable and is pretty easy for you. We always talk about children. My children, I'm a good dad and a bad dad, all in one. And when I need them to do something consistently, it's my job to set the expectation, hold them accountable, and follow through. And discipline's hard, isn't it? It sure is.
And then when they do something wrong, you can take a look at yourself and say, I probably have been too flexible on that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So
you're like, shit, that's me. I did that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a direct reflection. It's like, oh, well, I gave in too quickly on that one. I should have really made that painful. So I think reliability, the lack of reliability, can be fixed if you are firm on your expectations and follow through. And by the way, you don't have to be a tyrant. Everybody acts like you got to be a complete jerk to do this stuff. And you do if you've entertained it way too long, because something's got to change. And now you're at a point where now they're saying, why is this a big deal? It's never been a big deal before. So you don't have to be a tyrant, but in a way, to them, you're going to appear like an a-hole. Yeah.
Because you finally hit your
max. And look, look, this is on me. Your behavior is on me. I'm going to do better. Put it on you.
No, it's perfect.
Just put it on you. But I will say that again, now that we've talked about like what we could do and how to fix kind of some of that reliability, which again fixes burnout. If everybody was reliable, that would reduce your burnout. I hope everybody's making these connections, right?
Yes, it would reduce the dentist burnout. It would reduce the team members burnout. All the way around, everybody would feel
great. So another thing, and I think this is our last one, another thing that you can control. A lot of this is you can control. We talk about accountability and hold people accountable and follow through and all that, and leadership and systems, but this is the easiest one of all. It's free, takes absolutely little effort. It just takes some caring and some intentionality. But the next one is we are, as owners, we are slow to recognize. And, Paula talks a lot about this to our clients and trying to figure out how and what the best way to make someone feel good, an employee feel good. And it's recognition. And we believe that there's a lack of recognition going to the employees when they do something well. And just like holding people accountable to make them more reliable, you also need to recognize positive reinforcement when they're doing some great things too. And like, isn't this like, it's like almost everything comes back to leadership, doesn't it? It's like, it's weird that way. I hope you're hearing this driving to work or whatever. It's like, gosh, man, I suck as a leader. I think we all can look at ourselves and say, gosh, we could be a lot better. We could have better vision and communicate what we're trying to do in a softer way and give our team the support and tools and training so that they don't feel so crazy. And then what we could do is we could hire people and set expectations sooner and follow through. I could do that better. And then now we're on recognition. It's as easy as just saying, dude, you crushed that that list today and got $1,200 on the book. Like, dude, like, go take an hour off and treat yourself or something. I don't know, whatever it is, but like,
no, we can't afford an hour off.
Well, we can if they put $1,200 on the book, but
sure.
It's I think recognition is huge. But I say this with speaking as an owner ourselves. I say this with the expectation for you all to not over recognize. It seems like we get a lot of clients that protect our employees or their employees instead of holding them accountable when necessary. And so this idea of trying to fix reliability and recognizing gets very messed up. Paula, how many times would you like one of our team members that we're coaching to do something better and the doctor swoops in and, well, we do that. And it's like, well, statistically speaking, you don't. So let's
8 out of 10 times.
So maybe this number 4 point is not warranted for our audience because sometimes they over recognize.
But this is the difference. It's like, I hear you, but I think for them that goes in one ear and out the other because that's not the appropriate time to do that. That's just kind of like enabling them. That's not really recognizing them, because in the moment they're also thinking, well, I already do that. And now you're reinforcing that. So they're not even probably giving the doctor the kudos that are deserved because they recognize them. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
Like, it's kind of like lost in the fact that person's already probably feeling defensive, and then it just reinforces what they're feeling. And it's not really like a end of day saying, thank you for today. I really appreciate you making that patient feel safe and secure. And I just want you to know, I know you do that a lot and I probably don't recognize that. So I appreciate that. That is completely different than when I'm saying, hey, statements haven't been sent out. Well, this is it. And they're like, well, she does do them. Like, that's not really a recognition.
I hear you. And I'm glad you made the point, because the point that you are making, I think it is a huge point, because like everything doctors should do and communicate, there's a time and a way to do it to make the most impact. And they mess that up all the time. So if like you're going to give someone a bonus, instead of just kind of like baking it into their payroll and it's like, whoop, just happened. Like, that's great. You gave them a bonus, but like maybe what you should do is like tell everybody and make a moment out of it. Maybe hand them cash instead.
Right.
But like, so like, so that's a positive situation where you're paying someone for a good job. Make it a moment. Don't
Well, that's what I was saying.
skirt
Like
around
if
it.
you let me say, hey, look, we need statements to go out weekly, then you check the statements and they've gone out. You say, great, Susie Joe, I'm so happy that you and Paula were able to work out. I've noticed that the statements have gone out 3 weeks in a row right now.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that.
That's
now
right.
that's recognition. So don't
That's
rescue on something that we're not doing, because now we're not going to get the results we want. Recognize,
right.
back it up. And then, that's why I hope, even this, Michael, you said don't hire us when burnout. And hopefully I changed your mind too. Hire us at any point, because I don't think it's ever too late to, like you said, I like what you said earlier. Hey, look, I've let this go on too long. I'm ready to hit reset. I want to feel positive as the owner, and I want to be a positive leader. And in order for me to do that, I have to cut the chaos. I have to cut the unorganization. I'm burnout too, because I feel like we're, this isn't working. So let's all sit down, hit reset, so that we can all really enjoy work and our patients and, our day.
I think that's exactly right. But I do want to say that if you're thinking that a consultant's going to do it for you and not put the energy into the reset, it's a waste of money. And I hope that sounds different when you talk to consultants, because when we approach our clients, we want results. We want an ROI. And so you're right. They do need us very, very badly in burnout. But what I don't want is someone to hire a consultant. They recognize
think I'm going to tell Susie Joe what to do while you rescue her.
Exactly. And so it's not our job to hold people accountable, to give them recognition, to all the things. It's your job as the leader. And so anyways, I think you guys get it. I just want to drive home that last one of lack of recognition is that, we talked about when to do it and how to do it and all of the things, and it's easy to do. But Paula, you always say team members leave because they don't feel good. It's not about typically pay. It's about appreciation. I think there's a lot of studies out there on this. And so recognize your team, but just do it in a way that's going to make an impact. And recognition, I think everybody needs recognition. Any relationship with your kids, your marriage, your team, even as a business owner, I think
we need recognition too.
I was just going to say owners need recognition also. So we're talking about burnout and dentists having burnout and team owners get burnout because they're not told they're kicking ass. Good job. And you're being a great owner and you're making really hard decisions, but that's going to pay off. And like, you were a good owner this month, and so I think it abso-freaking-lutely everybody just needs more recognition. Take a moment, love on your team, say the words, do the things, because it does reduce burnout.
So if our team is watching, we love you.
I know. We love you guys. Yes. So I think, I think that that's where we ended it in our discussion internally, Paula and I there's 100 other reasons, why people have burnout, but I think we address, staffing mismatch and all of that, the CEO effect of you guys wanting more and your team and you are not aligned creates burnout, reliability of employees or the unreliability of employees. And then the lack of recognition, all of that. And
one thing I do want to say, because we didn't touch on it a lot, was being understaffed. And I do think there is such thing as being understaffed, but I also do believe, that, you do have some control. And, if you are truly, truly understaffed, maybe there's a time to talk about the schedule and how you're scheduling, whether it's too many people at once or what have you. So I do think there are true, but most offices that we deal with are not understaffed. It again is the lack of organization and systems, because it's constantly reactive. So you feel like I never get a moment because it's like, oh, this, then this, then this. And listen, in dentistry, I say this to team all the time. You want to call it the 80-20 rule, the 90-10 rule. Of course, you're going to have exceptions. You're going to have that patient that doesn't listen, or the patient that's late, or the team member that doesn't show up. But 80% of it should still flow pretty darn good if you really have true systems.
Totally.
And so being down a person isn't fun, but I've seen many, me included. I had one dental assistant, one hygienist, one front and a dentist, and we did it. And we did it well. And I don't think you always have to have more bodies. Now, if someone doesn't show up, that's a little bit different subject, but I just think. Again,
amen, sister. Amen. I just evaluated a practice. I did an appraisal, evaluation of practice. And Paula, it was your practice DNA. I call it the 1-1-1-1 effect. There's 4 ones: one dentist, one front, one dental assistant, and one hygienist. And they did, guess what? 750 to 800. And let me tell you, the profitability was 50%. And it's just like, gosh, like, yes, you can do it. There's technology that makes everybody's life easier, so they absolutely can do it. You might need some help here and there, but to commit to a 1-1-2 when maybe one day you needed that too, but you powered through it. Again, that recognition of your team really being buried on a day and giving them lunch and recognizing that, hey, we were understaffed today. Thank you for absolutely crushing today. As an owner, you made bank that day because you kept your team tight and you produced a lot. So freaking buy them a really expensive lunch, like recognize them, but then don't go and hire that second person, a 1-1-1-2, right? Like get through it. It's okay to be profitable, but now we're going on a whole different tangent.
Yeah. Okay.
So guys, I really hope that you think about this. If you're burned out, what could you do? What could you do differently? How could you rethink this? What are approaches and strategies that you could incorporate? There's a lot of personal things that you should do to take care of yourself, self-care, and that all matters. Absolutely. I've been burned out working out and getting time away and spending more time with loved ones and such. Like that absolutely will help. But then you're going to go right back to the chaotic nonsense and you're going to be burned out in a minute. So you got to work through some of this stuff. We're happy to help you. I guess that's a selfish plug for Next Level. I convinced you guys not to hire us the whole episode. And now I'm saying you definitely should hire us. So without further ado, I would love for you guys to reach out and talk to us about maybe some things you can
burnout.
do. Burnout. That's right. Burnout. All right, guys. Thanks again, and stay tuned to the next one. We are rolling today on lots of different topics. So thank you. Thanks, Paula. We'll talk soon, guys.
Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Let us know how you like the show. Rate us on Apple and Spotify. Subscribe and follow for more.